Hello and welcome back to Lorbeck. I'm your host Harry, and today we've got this gorgeous, classically spec'd red over tan Ferrari California. California might just be the firm's most radical model ever. It's the first Ferrari to have a front-mounted V8 engine, the first to have a dual-clutch gearbox, and the first Ferrari that is following the current trends at the moment of having a fully retractable hard-top roof. It was also Ferrari's first real stab at dethroning Mercedes' infamous SL, which has led the convertible Grand Tourer segment for decades. Now, to do this, they had to come out with something a little bit more spicy to appeal to the younger audiences. Now, they achieved this by slapping an award-winning, naturally aspirated V8 engine with 453 horsepower, which is very impressive considering that this engine isn't turbocharged. So this engine, combined with that proper fast-shifting dual-clutch gearbox, carbon ceramic brakes, solidifies the Ferrari California as not just your weekend daily driver, but a proper driver's Ferrari. Now, that's shown in the numbers. It only takes this car 4 seconds to sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour and a top speed of 315. Now, if that's not fast, I don't know what is.
Nice car. What's the retail on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about the performance of the California. Now, let's take a little look around the interior. Now, red on tan, classic Ferrari spec, you cannot go wrong. And the first thing I see when I jump in the car is the carbon fiber steering wheel, which is a really desirable option and extremely rare to find on one of these original Californias. You've also got the shift lights embedded up in the top of the steering wheel, so you know when to shift like a Formula One driver. And all in all, the car has aged really well. All the leathers are super soft to the touch and aren't too glossy. Given that this car is a 2+2, there's heaps of room to put the seat all the way back, and they are spec'd in the Daytona styling. Now, let's take the Ferrari key, stick it in the ignition, twist it on so the dash comes to life, and thumb on the starter button. Alright guys, welcome to the driver's seat of the Ferrari California. Now, it is an absolute belter of a day here in Melbourne, 30 degrees Celsius, and it's giving me a really good sense of what this car would be like to drive up in Beverly Hills in the sun, which is what this car was designed for. Just with my limited time behind the wheel already, I can just tell that this car is so much more than what everyone makes it out to be. It's got a sense of fluidity to it that is almost unmatched in anything else, with the gearbox that is just super crisp and acts exactly when you want it to. Along with that buttery smooth, naturally aspirated V8, they just work so well together. And even the handling of the car, yes, it's going to be a little bit soft, but that's expected. It's not a 458 Speciale, but it holds its own. The steering's light, it's direct, and for what this car was made to do, it does it brilliantly. Oh. And the note from that exhaust, you just don't get that in modern Ferraris with turbocharging. Now, obviously with the V12s, they're gonna give you a similar oral experience, but if you're looking at a modern V12 Ferrari, you're gonna be looking anywhere under close to $1 million, whereas something like this is a great entry point in the market. I think they've aged great, and you can pick these up for anywhere between $170,000 to $250,000 depending on the year of the car. I have a little Manettino switch, like in all modern Ferraris, minus a couple of the modes like race mode, which you wouldn't want in a car like this anyway. So switching from comfort into sport, around a long hairpin like this, you can feel the car tighten up and the throttle response. It's still such a good car to drive, and when you need to anchor on those carbon ceramics, they do not fade whatsoever, even in the heat. Now, a lot of the time with carbon ceramics as well, you're going to get a lot of squeaking and they're not going to perform when they're cold, but these ones got up to temperature quite nicely. I know it's hot, but there wasn't too much drama with that. Even for daily driving, this car can pull off a U-turn with ease. Don't even have to do a 3-point turn, which is quite amazing. I've driven this road a fair few times for these reviews, and most cars cannot make a U-turn like that. Dropping it into first gear, I'm going to run it up the hill for you. All the way up to fourth and back down to second, just like that. Switching back into comfort mode, we've got hit automatic on the gearbox, the exhaust quietens down, the suspension slackens off, and if you just sit back and relax, it really is just effortless to drive this car every day. Okay, so we've got a nice little overpass ahead, a naturally aspirated V8. I'm going to pop it into neutral and show you just how good this NA engine sounds. Oh, that just sounds so good. Thank you so much for watching this week's Friday Drive. I really did love the California, and I think it was just such a big jump for Ferrari because it gave people access to the brand that never would have before considered buying a Ferrari with the 2+2 configuration and the folding hardtop roof that just gave the car a sense of practicality and drivability that Ferrari had never ever seen before. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Gonna give you a similar oral experience.